Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Realistic with Realistic Productions, doing another tutorial for SoundOracle.net. And today we're going to go over the recording process and the different stages that go into it. I always hear people talking about, let's fix it in the mix or we can let mastering handle it. And people have kind of put mixing and mastering on this pedestal that they're the most important parts of making a great song. And in reality, they're the least important parts of it. There's so many other factors that have to go into it. And what we're going to go over is this mixing sheet. And you're going to see that it has it listed in order of importance. And the first thing that's most important is performance. And then it's our instruments. So either our vocalist or our guitar. Is it in tune? Is it, doing what it's supposed to be doing? Is it in good shape? And then mic placement. Where we place the mic is going to be really important. And then our choice of mic. Did we pick the right mic for this instrument or for this singer's range? And then after that, the arrangement of the song. And that also goes with our levels and our pans, as well as, is it the right stuff like piano? Does this the right key for the singer? Are the drums sitting right? And then it's our recording channel, is our interfaces, our mic pre's, our compressors. And then we finally get to the mixing and the mastering stages, and then finally to release it out to the public. So the things that people seem to focus the most on as far as importance are actually the three least important factors of making a really good song. And I wanted to actually go over the different aspects of it. And I have a really talented singer coming in today, Hailey Ward. She's going to come into the studio in a few moments to show the difference between good performances and bad performances. All right, so I'm going to head to the live room and we're going to set up the mic for the singer. I'm here in the live room. I'm about to record Hailey Ward. She's a very talented singer and songwriter. What we're going to do is we're going to go over the importance of the mixing process. And one of the things that's really important is proper mic placement and proper performance. They're actually more important than mixing and mastering. So what I want to do is I want to start with getting the right mic placement for Hailey. So a good thing to think about is it's always good for the singer to be about this far away from the microphone. That way you can still get that proximity effect, the deepness that people like in pop music and R&B, but you're still not too close to the mic and clipping. So we got that, and then I always want to make sure that we're good distance because, we could be too low or too high, and if it's too high, they're going to strain their neck, and it's not going to be a very comfortable performance. So we want to get it usually right above their top lip there if we can get that diaphragm in there. So this is a tube mic, and I also brought in a lower quality mic because I also wanted to go over the importance of mic choice. Not only is mic placement good, but if you choose the wrong mic, you're not going to be able to capture a really good sound. And like I always say, it's like if you're going to cook some food, you want to start out with really good quality ingredients, and that way your end result's going to be a better tasting meal versus if you start out with bad ingredients, it's going to be a lot harder to make this taste better. And it's the same with music. We want to start out with a really good product so that way when we do the mixing stage, it already sounds really good. All right, so now I'm going to head over to the control room and we'll record some of these vocals. So after we figure out the mic placement and the mic choice, was another important part that's more important than mixing and mastering is picking the right arrangement. We got the right instruments around them? Do we got the right sounding drums? Is this in the right key? So those are really important aspects of it. And then after the arrangement, the next important part is our recording channel. So if we got like a really bad interface that's all scratchy or just not really good quality, it's not going to be able to have a good end result, and our mix isn't going to sound that good. So what I did here is I'm starting her out on a pretty decent pre here. This is a Avalon 737. It's a pre-EQ and a compressor, but I'll just be using the mic pre and just a little compression on her. And then I'm going to come over here, and if you've seen these tutorials, you know I'm wild about these API 550Bs. I just was just boosting a little bit, not too much, but still to capture a good sound so our recording channel is really good as well. What we're going to do is actually I'm going to have Hailey sing some stuff that's a little bit more of a bad performance, like stuff that's a little bit more muffled and mumbled, so we can kind of really get the grasp of how important it is to catch a good performance. And I'm also going to have her go back and forth between a really good mic and a bad mic. All right, so why don't we dive in then? All right, Hailey, how you doing in there?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. You ready to record some vocals? What is it, I Love You More?
Yeah.
All right, so what we're going to do is, if you could actually start out with singing the song how you normally would, and then we'll go into singing a little bit more of a bad performance. But yeah, just give me, I don't know, like maybe like 2 or 3 measures of a good performance of it.
What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could dry those eyes. Maybe we could try. Maybe it's time our love is amplified. I never want to say goodbye.
All right, so that was if we captured a good performance. So now what we're going to do is have her do a little bit more of a bad performance. Hey, Hailey, could you kind of do maybe a little bit more of a lazy performance, something that's not as powerful, just so the everyone can kind of get the grasp of how important it is?
Yeah.
Cool.
What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could dry those eyes. Maybe we could try. Maybe it's time our love is amplified. I never want to say goodbye.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so you can see that, it was a little less energetic. So when we're trying to mix that later, there's nothing that we can do about that. We can EQ, we can compress, we can even fix pitch, but we can't fix energy. We can't make someone sound more excited. So it's really important to catch a good grip. So what we were talking about earlier was how important it is to catch good mic placement. So I'm going to have Hailey kind of move around a little bit so we can hear bad mic placement. I started out with her having a good mic placement. So now we're going to hear if she's further back or not singing directly on it. Hey, Hailey, would you mind stepping back like maybe a couple feet? You might need to bring the headphone box with you. Okay, yeah, if you could sing the same song from that distance.
Sure. What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could dry those eyes. Maybe we could try. Maybe it's time our love is amplified. I never want to say goodbye.
Cool. All right, and then if you could maybe get closer to the mic, but then be like kind of angled away. Yeah, like that. Yep, for sure.
What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could dry those eyes. Maybe we could try. Maybe it's time our love is amplified. I never want to say goodbye.
All right, and then the last thing, if you could get like really close to the mic where it's almost obnoxious to be that close to the mic. Even like move the pop filter if you want.
Got you.
All right. Yep, go ahead.
What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could dry those eyes. Maybe we could try. Maybe it's time our love is amplified. I never want to say goodbye.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, so you could see that when she was further away, we're catching all the room and it sounds real ambient and it doesn't sound close and it almost sounds like she's singing through a camp. And then when she sang to the side, you could hear that it got a little, thinner. It didn't sound as full and as thick and it didn't capture the right performance. And then when she got too close to the mic, you see that it starts to clip and get almost distorted and just give a really kind of disastrous sound to it. So it's so important to capture that right performance and mic placement and choosing the mic placement and choosing the right mic. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to have her sing on a little bit worse of a mic. Hey, Hailey, the last thing, if you could sing on the other mic I just want to show people what it sounds like if it's not as good quality of a microphone.
Sure.
Yep.
What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could dry those eyes. Maybe we could try. Maybe it's time our love is amplified. I never want to say goodbye.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, so as you can see, when she chose the wrong mic that's not right for her voice and just wasn't as quite the same quality, and really that mic shouldn't even be used for vocals, it's more of an instrument mic, you could see that it got a lot more narrow and boxy sounding and kind of really just diminished the quality of her voice. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the next stages of getting the right levels and everything in our mixes.
It's always good to put a good arrangement around the singer, and I felt like that we had that. This is a production that I made for Hailey. I put around what she was doing vocally. So let's listen to that, and you can hear what I'm saying, that it's important that we got some a good key for her and some good stuff around her.
What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could try those eyes.
Yeah, so I feel pretty good about where we're at. The drums seem like they're at an all right level. The piano seems like it's pretty good back there. I got some strings and a little vocal sample I got going on. So I felt like that's pretty good. It's always good that we get that. Before we even dive into mixing the EQs and compression, I think it's really good that we focus on our levels and our pans. So let's say that we got this going on where her vocals just too quiet, or if it was like just way too loud.
What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe
It's gonna mess up our mix, and I'm seeing a lot of people where the first thing that they go to is grab an EQ. It's like, well, let's get our levels right, and let's get our pans figured out too. As far as if we can spread things out with panning, we'll be able to just create a better stereo image. I know a lot of people really like mix in mono, and I think that's really cool too. I like to do that too, and then figure out the pans later. Sometimes more important than the EQ and everything. So I felt like we got some good levels. The panning seems like it's okay. I don't have everything just going off to right down the center. I got this synth kind of panned a little bit more towards the right here. The piano, I'm kind of ducking that out of the way. I don't got that all down in the center, because if everything was just coming right down the center and nothing was panned, I think it would just be kind of more of a mess. Our levels seem like they're pretty good, and so now we can finally kind of focus on mixing and everything. I got a little EQ that I did on her. I always like to get a little bit of the mud out.
what are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could try.
And I'm actually doing another tutorial on mixing vocals and everything, so I'll definitely go more in depth with that video as far as mixing vocals, but I just wanted to do a little quick run through of the process of the recording and what's important and when it's too late to fix things and stuff. Yeah, so I'm just kind of getting some stuff out of her voice.
What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad?
Get a little bit of that harshness out of her. And then, yeah, let's see what we got as far as a little bit of some resonant frequency around on her.
What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could try.
I always like to use this plugin. It's a de-esser. I like to use it for both getting sibilance out, but then I like to use it twice. I'll use it to get that sibilance out, but I also use another one just to get some of that little resonant frequency out. It just kind of pushes it down around that frequency. You can hear without it.
What are you saying, babe? Why?
You hear her say, babe. Kind of just has a little nasty ring to it, and if I just kind of ease up on that,
What are you saying, babe? Why so?
it kind of gets rid of some of that. And what I like about using these de-essers is it lets me use a really narrow version of multi-band compression, and that's all I'm doing. I'm just compressing that frequency down just a little bit, and then yeah, I'll just throw compressor on her. This is kind of more of a pop tune, an R&B tune. So I want to be a little bit more aggressive with the compressor than I would if it was some singer-songwriter or some folk music.
What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could dry those eyes. Maybe we could try. Maybe it's time our love is amplified.
Just to kind of control. You can really hear it right here too if I take it out.
Amplified.
Really jumps out, and if I put it back in,
Amplified.
just kind of get it smoothed out a little bit. If you've seen my tutorials before, you always know I like to do subtractive EQ first, and then I like to do compression. That way the frequencies I don't want in there aren't triggering the compressor. And then I like to add frequencies and boost frequencies after the compressor, so what I'm boosting isn't triggering the compressor. So
what are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could dry those eyes. Maybe we could try. Maybe it's time our love is amplified.
yeah, so I'm liking that 3.5. It's not quite as harsh on her vocals. I feel like the 2.3 brings out some of the ringiness of her vocals, and I kind of actually want to avoid that. So let's listen to this in the mix.
I never want to say goodbye.
Yeah, so as you can see, we actually had a pretty good performance. All I really did was I just excited things and polished them up because we already had everything there. And you see, I really didn't do much. I'm using 4 plugins. I really could have got away with 3. I just kind of a stickler sometimes when it comes to those little resonant frequencies. But even could have got away with 2. I probably didn't even need to, boost so much. Just a little subtractive and compression. Just some subtle stuff. And I'm not really doing too much. I didn't take out. What would I take out? About like 2 dB here, and then I not really boosting by much either. About 2, 3 dB. Just some compression to really kind of glue it together because it is that pop hit. And if you start out with like bad performances and everything, you'll see that you're going to be here all day and you're just not going to get the sound that you want. Yeah, and so after mixing, it's when you want to do the mastering. So we'll come down here and we'll kind of figure out our master channel here. Usually when I'm mixing, I don't like to master myself. I like to send it off to somebody else, a fresh set of ears, so they can hear things that I missed in the mix and everything. But for the purpose of this video, I'll just do some slight mastering. It's the last stage, and we're really not going to be doing too much. We're just going to get a couple little things of frequencies out and everything, and just kind of getting the overall level, maybe do some little bit of saturation just to excite the whole thing. And hey, if you guys want, I can definitely do a tutorial on mastering sometime in the future, just dedicate one and go more in depth and everything. But it's always good to make sure that your mix before you send it to a mastering engineer is about negative 4, -6 to -4. You don't want to be peaking or anything. So let's make sure that our master is pretty good here.
Those eyes, maybe we could try. Maybe it's time our love is amplified. I never.
Yeah, so we're at about -3, -4, a little bit there. And now let's start with putting a little EQ on. We're just going to do some subtle changes. And again, I can go more in depth in a future video, but just to kind of show you the process of a full song being done. Yeah, just get a little bit of that little resonant frequency out there.
What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could dry those eyes. Maybe we could try. Maybe it's time our love is amplified.
There was just a little washiness there. Always some harshness around this area too. It just got a little crowded there. I always like to isolate frequencies. That's why I use this Fab Filter EQ, just to kind of hear it. I like to boost first to really hear it in the full mix, and then I'll isolate just to make sure that what I'm hearing is correct and everything. And people usually kind of just boost a little bit up in this 4 to 5K range, and maybe just brighten up the sides a little bit. And
what are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face?
I probably just put a little saturation on it. Always kind of just excites things, get it going. I'm always against presets, but I made my own. This Reels mastering, Realistics mastering, and I just kind of tweak it for the mix. But it's just something I kind of, a preset that I made a long time ago that kind of works for mastering, and I'll just tweak it where I need it.
What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could dry those eyes. Maybe we could try. Maybe it's time our love is amplified.
Yeah, so the saturation there just kind of excited the drums, brought the vocals a little bit more forward, which makes everything else kind of seem a little bit wider. And the last thing we'll do is just throw on this limiter, make it loud. I always like to have my output set to either -1 or -2 or something like that, and just kind of medium to kind of fast attack. Same with the release. You know, if I was gonna ship this right off to iTunes or something, I'd probably go with a gain of 8, but let's just start with 4, see what that sounds like.
What are you saying, babe? Why such a sad face? Maybe we could dry those eyes. Maybe we could try. Maybe it's time our love is amplified. I never wanna say goodbye. This ain't no argument. I'm gonna be a girl till the very end. Hearts on fire, electrified.
Yeah, so you can see the mixing process. We weren't really having to do too much, and same with the mastering. The mastering is really kind of the least important part of the whole process. If everything else is right, you really don't have to do too much as for the mastering. You see, I just eased up on some frequencies, polished it up, did some things that kind of excite the stuff in the background, and then just brought the overall volume. But, you know, the mastering really didn't make the song any better. It just kind of made it just a little bit more presentable, but it didn't save the song. That's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to make sure that everything is correct in our first stages. So when we are mixing and mastering, we're not trying to save the song. We're just trying to make the song a little bit better and bring some things out that should.
All right, so thanks for joining and tuning into this video today. And as always, you know, comment below on what you're liking about these videos, and please let us know the different things that you want to see in the future of different content and things you want us to do tutorials on, because SoundOracle and I are always looking for new ways to give you the type of content that is going to be useful for you. And the most effective way that we can do that is by hearing your comments and reviews on everything. And as always, you know, feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, Facebook at Realistic Productions. You can find me on the web, realisticproductions.net. And of course, go follow SoundOracle. You can find them on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at SoundOracle. And if you're looking for the most high quality, dopest sounds that is going to get your music to really just bump and cut through, go to soundoracle.net. All right, till next time.